All right, my top 10 sports movies of all time. 42. Now, 42, it's not a movie that I don't think it's like that widely popular. I know it's got a good pretty good following to it just like for certain people, but I just think just a really good movie that I watched it when I was younger, and it depicts the life of Jackie Robinson. Chadwick Boseman does a great job of showing kind of his story. Obviously, the first African American player to ever play baseball. It was. I just remember watching it. It's just a great story. It shows you about, you know, just greatness and uh, changing the times. And I thought this was a great movie to do that, and kind of showed people that anybody can play a sport. And I think that's the message that it kind of showed. But yeah, no, this movie's got it all. It shows like it's pretty intense. I think it might have an R rating. I'm not 100% sure. I remember there's some pretty absurd stuff that happens. Obviously, words are said and all that in the movie, but overall, good movie. Harrison Ford does really well in it. But yeah, that one was number 10 for me. That got in. The next one, Remember the Titans, would be at number 9. And this is another movie that I watched a lot when I was younger. This is a good story. This movie just has a great story written within it. I think at one point, one of the teammates, they get really injured or something happens, and they have to rally around him, and they come and they get a big win towards the end. It's just a really great movie all the way through. A lot of storyline to it, but it goes pretty quick. But it's definitely in the top 10. You can't do it without the top 10. Blindside, really good movie. It's got a really good cast. It's at number 8 for me. People would probably have this a bit higher, but yeah, great cast to it. It's the story of the Michael Other um, guy that played for the Ravens for years, and it kind of depicts his story, his climb, what he had to do. I think the names. I don't like the name to it really. I think they could have went with something else, but it's a really good just story from start to finish. I think the movie's paced really well. Um, and I think the actors do a really good job. I think the actors steal the show in this movie. But it's definitely a blockbuster, uh, and I think it did really well at the box. I think it's one of the highest grossing sports movies ever. But it was number 8 on my list. At number 7, we have Creed. So this is a newer movie, 2015 film. Um, I thought Creed was a really good movie. I actually just rewatched this a few days ago. Really good film. Really depicts this, continues the Rocky story, and it shows Michael B. Jordan's story. Adonis Creed shows his kind of rise to to fame in the boxing career, and it shows the struggles. And I like the real life stuff that it shows in this movie. It shows a lot of just like the relatable issues that people go through. Like at the beginning of the movie, he's got a job and he gets a promotion, but it's not his passion. He quits it. He wants to be a boxer like his dad, and um, it shows like his relationship struggles and all that. And then with I think Rocky is really good in this movie. It shows him this mentorship role. There's this moment where he has cancer at one point, and he's haunted by the issues with his wife, and it's just a great story all the way around. I think they did a really good job of just continuing the Rocky story, and then that's why right next to it I have Creed 2 at number 6. Yeah, at number 6. This one better than the first. The first great movie. Creed 2 though, it continues the Rocky 4 storyline where Rocky defeated the guy that dad killed Creed's father, Apollo Creed. And it's just a great movie because it ties kind of both the series in a different way. And it just shows the fight, between the Russian and the American. It's a great storyline all the way through. It's an emotional movie. There's tough scenes in it. Uh, it's a great movie. One of it's probably the second best fighting movie in my opinion, and we'll see that later. We'll get to that later in the list. Number five, Hoosiers. Great movie, great underdog movie, great one of those great stories that it shows that anybody can win, and overall too, it's a good movie. It was made 70s, I want to say. I want to say it's a film from the 70s, maybe 1979, and it just goes through the story of this coach, and he has this team of they're kind of nobody farmland people, and they find a way to just come up, and they go on a run, and it's a great story, an overall great story, great movie, film connected with it too. It still is talked about to this day. This movie, it's a movie that's shown to like teams, any basketball team, stuff like that. Great movie, Hoosiers at number five. Number four, obviously, this had to be on the list. Miracle. Going from the underdog story of Hoosiers, this is like the ultimate underdog story based on a true story as well, though, and it depicts the United States team taking down the Russians, who had perhaps one of the most dominant stretches of hockey of all time. And I think what really steals this movie is the speech that the coach gives at the end of before they're about to play the big game against the Russians. The coach gives just a speech, iconic speech. You can find it anywhere, and that's really a moment that really steals the show, I think, in this movie. A great film, great film. Number three, movie that I just watched yesterday, Major League. So this is more of a comedy movie, but it's just kind of, especially for me, a guy that's likes the Indians, fan of Cleveland sports. It kind of depicts, what if the Cavs actually could figure it out? But I mean, it's really, it's as much of a comedy movie as it is. There are some serious moments in this movie. It shows struggle. It shows like that just the people that are brought on this team, they're losing in life at the moment, and it just shows how winning can turn things around. And I think that's a great moment within the movie, showing that, and the actors do a great job. Tom Berginger, uh, he does a great job, and Charlie Sheen does a really good job in this movie. Wesley Snipes has a good role in this movie, so the acting's really well, the comedy's good, and for being a movie from 1989, it's still very watchable. So I like Major League at three. Number two, obviously, this movie was going to make it there. Rocky, just a great story. The Italian Stallion, um, fighting his way up the boxing ranks. Just an unbelievable movie. The training montages in it. The underdog story within the movie. Um, by far the best boxing movie, best fighting movie ever. They've made, I think they're on like with Creed 3 just coming out. I think if you look at the entire series, there's like almost 10 movies, which is ridiculous that they were able to do that off this one movie. I think this came out in 1976, still holds to this day. Great film, great film. And then number one, I have Moneyball. Just honestly a favorite for me. Honestly a favorite for me because it's just a really uh it just has everything in a story. It's there's funny moments, there's sad moments, drama. Um it's they're losing. They have to find ways to turn things around. You're putting together a team. It's showing the inside of just the organization based on a true story. And it works. It works in a way where you are, by the end of it, you care so much about like the A's, and it's crazy without any affiliation to it. and it's just a great movie. It shows kind of the, like I said, the inside of an organization, and overall, it's a really good story that I'm glad got shown on the big screen. But the way they did it so correctly, and you even look at characters in this, Jonah Hill, very like a comedian. He actually works in this movie somehow. Like, you can take Jonah Hill seriously in this movie. That's how good the movie is. Um, yeah, Moneyball's number one for me. Let me know if there's any I missed on here, but that's my top 10. That's my top 10.